Thank you for joining us. Are you ready to breathe, move, and flow? Today you will be led through a full-body Pilates class that activates your 5 senses and brings you into the present moment. As with any of our classes, consult with your doctor to ensure you are ready to begin a Pilates practice.
We'll begin with our pelvic rock. Neutral position with the hips, meaning that your hip bones and your pubic bone are on the same plane. In order to achieve this position, you'll shift your weight to your tailbone and allow your low back to just lift slightly away from the floor so that a blueberry could fit safely there. From here, you'll scoop your abdominals in and push your low back into the mat to squish that same blueberry that we imagined being there before. This is your imprint position. We're going to rock from neutral to imprint for a few moments here, using our abdominal floor to facilitate the movement.
Noticing your sense of sight. Appreciating what you see in this moment. How is the light? What images do you see around you? Acknowledging all the sights you experience every day and how hard your eyes work to show you all the beauty around you. Taking a moment to bring your attention to one new sight. How did that shift in attention feel?
Articulated bridge. Knees bent up, hip width distance apart. We will peel each piece of bone off the mat at a time, starting with the tailbone, lifting the low back, mid back, and then rising up to the bottom of our shoulders in our bridge. Inhale at the top of the movement and begin to melt down into the floor with your exhale. Starting with the upper back, moving through the middle back, then the low back, and then sinking into that neutral position with the pelvis on the floor.
Bringing awareness to your sense of touch. Feeling the mat on your fingers. What is the texture? What is the temperature? Feeling the mat on your toes. Is there a difference? Feeling the fabric of your clothing. If your mind begins to wander, bring it back to this present moment. Giving yourself permission to be fully engaged in class today.
Saw. We'll sit in an upright seated position. Feet shoulder width distance apart. Pelvis and spine in a vertical position. I'm seated right on top of my sits bones. Avoid tipping back on the pelvis as you move. With the arms extended out from my shoulders, inhale to rotate to the side. Exhale to flex your spine forward toward the leg. We'll use our inhale to articulate back up to a completely vertical position. And then I'll finish the movement with my exhale, returning to face forward. Let's repeat and rotate to the other side. Visualize separating each piece of bone in our spine. Let's do this for 7 to 10 repetitions.
Tuning into your sense of smell. What scent is in the air? What memories does that scent bring to mind? Imagine scrolling through a book of different scents. Where does this scent fit in that book of your memory? Our current perception of scents is related to past scents and the meaning we place on those smells.
Roll down to roll up. Round the spine to a shape of a C. Tucking the tailbone underneath the hips, begin to lay each piece of vertebra down at a time. Let your low back find the floor first, then your mid back, now your shoulders and the back of your head. You'll reverse the movement. You'll lift the back of the head, your shoulders into flexion, and you'll use your abdominals to sit back up, sitting tall on your pelvis at the top, and then articulating back down onto the floor again.
Bringing attention to what you hear. What does your breath sound like? What sounds do you hear in the background? What is the communication like with yourself at this moment? Giving yourself a compliment. How does that compliment feel within you? How did that compliment sound? Embracing the sincerity of those kind words.
Corkscrew, an imprint. Flat back, bend your knees toward your chest with the arms at your sides. Now we'll extend both legs up with the heels together and the toes apart. Circle both the legs down to the right. You'll move them through center to your midline at about 45 degrees. And then we'll continue to draw that circle to the left. You'll bring your legs back up to the ceiling and we'll reverse that circle. Moving the legs down to the left now, circling them through center to 45 degrees, and then over to the right. Finishing the circle with the legs back up, feet facing the ceiling.
Noticing your scent of taste. Any taste of sweetness, bitterness, sour, or spice. If you feel intrigued or desire to have a sip of water, how does that water taste after the efforts you put forth in this Pilates class?
Crisscross. Hands interlace behind your head, legs bent to table. Begin by extending one leg out and rotating toward your bent knee. Then we'll switch, keeping the shoulders lifted as you pass through center and rotate in the other direction. Your pelvis stays still here. Avoid making the rotation so large that it begins to pull your pelvis in either direction as you move.
Thank you for exploring this Pilates wave with us today. We hope it guides you through the rest of your day. If you like this class, provide us with a thumbs up, a comment, and subscribe to participate in future Mind and Body Pilates, a Wellness Approach classes.